I'm happy now. You mean nothing to me anymore.
I trusted you with my whole life.
It was 2 o'clock in the morning when the phone buzzed beside her bed. She woke instantly, certain it was her husband perhaps saying he had finally come home. At first, she blamed her tired eyes. She read it again and again. Then her strength gave way. Welcome, story lovers. Before we begin, hit like and let us know in the comments which city you're watching from. The phone fell, breaking on the floor, just as her life did. In a single moment, 28 years of marriage slipped through her fingers. The screen showed a photo of Julian, her husband of nearly 3 decades, standing in a brightly lit nursery. He wasn't alone. A woman half Elena's age leaned against him, cradling a newborn. The caption was a single word. Finally. Elena sat paralyzed in the dark. She had spent 28 years building his empire, skipping meals so he could eat, and fading into the background so he could shine. She thought she was the foundation of his life, but she was merely a placeholder. The luxury of their mansion now felt like a gilded cage. She looked at the cracked phone on the rug, the light of the display flickering like a dying pulse. Just as she reached down to pick it up, the bedroom door handle turned slowly. Julian stood in the threshold, his suit jacket gone, smelling of expensive perfume and betrayal. Julian didn't look like a man who had just been caught. He looked bored. He stepped into the room, stepping over the shattered phone without a glance. "I see you've seen the news," he said, his voice devoid of any warmth. "I was going to tell you after the merger was finalized, but I suppose the timing doesn't matter much now. The house is yours, Elena. Consider it a retirement package for your services." Elena felt a surge of nausea. Services? "Julian, I gave you my life. I gave you every cent of my inheritance to start that firm. I gave you 28 years of my youth." She stood up, her legs shaking, her voice rising in a way he had never allowed. "Who is she? And how long has this been going on?" Julian sighed, adjusting his watch. "Years. Long enough to know what real partnership feels like." "She looks forward, not back." He walked to the safe in the wall, spinning the dial with practiced ease. "You were a great help in the beginning, but empires outgrow their architects. If this story is touching your heart, subscribe now. More real, powerful moments like this are coming, and the next one is unforgettable." He pulled a stack of documents from the safe and tossed them onto the bed. "Sign the NDA and the waiver. You get the house, I get the company and my new life. You have no proof of your contributions anymore." She stared at the papers on the bed, a cold, legal execution of her entire existence. He thought he had erased her, but Julian had made one fatal mistake. He had forgotten who actually kept the records. He saw her as a silent shadow, but shadows see everything that happens in the light. She didn't sign the papers. Instead, she knelt and retrieved a small, dusty floorboard beneath the vanity, a hiding spot he never noticed because he never looked at anything that was in himself. Inside was a black ledger and an encrypted thumb drive. For 28 years, Elena hadn't just been a wife. She had been the primary bookkeeper. She knew where every dollar was buried, including the offshore accounts Julian had used to fund his new life with the company's capital. It was Julian, returning for the signed documents. "Are we done yet?" He snapped, his eyes narrowing as he saw the ledger in her hand. His face paled, the arrogance flickering for the first time. "What is that?" "Give that to me, Elena, now." He lunged for the book, his composure finally cracking into desperation. Elena stepped back, her heart racing not with fear, but with a cold, sharpening clarity. She held the ledger over the balcony railing of the mezzanine. "One more step, Julian, and the board of directors gets the digital copy." Julian froze, his hand outstretched, his face a mask of terror. "You wouldn't," he whispered, the power in the room shifting like a tectonic plate. "You'd lose everything too." Elena looked at him, truly seeing him for the first time in 3 decades not as a partner, but as a parasite. "I didn't build a company, Julian," she said, her voice steady and low. "I built a man who doesn't exist. Destroying you isn't a loss. It's a long overdue demolition." She didn't drop the book. She tucked it under her arm and walked past him, her head held higher than it had been since she was 20. He tried to grab her arm, but she dodged him with a grace born of newfound freedom. "The locks will be changed by morning," she stated. "The evidence of your embezzlement is already scheduled to reach the auditors at dawn." "I don't want the house, Julian." casting a long shadow across the foyer as she walked toward the front door. Julian stood broken in the hallway, the weight of his own greed finally collapsing upon him. He had mistaken her silence for weakness, never realizing that the quietest person in the room is often the one holding all the keys. Cruelty is a loud, temporary explosion. Self-respect is a quiet, permanent revolution.